We're going to move on to Square Enix.
Yep. And I totally agree. There was a big lull that was going on before Square came out. And I think that Square knocked it out of the park. I will say that most of what they announced, what they talked about, kind of falls within a specific genre as opposed to what
Really does.
as opposed to what Nintendo did. Nintendo was purposely being very very varied and open with what they were talking about.
Yoshi P.
And Square, again, I mentioned earlier when I was talking about like Nintendo, I like when people just embrace what they're doing and just say, you know what, I'm just going to do a lot of this. Square's doing that. They know their thing is RPGs. They know their thing is Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, all of that. So starting out with the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Great start. Quite a bit of footage as well.
They went big, baby.
And I was so happy with that. By the way, we finally get to see Tifa. How do you feel about the voice acting in this, though? Real quick, I know you and I could talk about this stuff forever, but what do you think about the voice?
It's my least favorite thing.
Yeah, me too.
I think Cloud sounds okay, and it's probably something I'll get used to it. Even though Barrett is saying the lines that I would expect Barrett to say, it's something about whoever is the American voice for Barrett or English voice for Barrett. I don't know. I every time I'm reading the text, and I was even playing it again today and last night, kind of reliving it, is that I expect it to be deeper. Like, I don't know. I think of a Barrett as like this deep, like John Turkey, like
Mr.
I don't know
T
what it is.
who I read him as, like Mr. T every single time. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. He's a big guy. He has, like, you expect that kind of voice. That's the only negative that I've had, honestly, for everything that I've seen for Final Fantasy VII.
But honestly, the dialogue itself, the lines, is great, and I've heard even more about it since then. Because for those of you who don't know, the Midgar is its own game. It's part one of X, which they also said this week that they don't know how many parts it's going to be, which is also slightly disappointing. But so there's a ton of new dialogue and a ton of new character fleshing out with like Jesse and Biggs Wedge, and all the lines are good. It's just some of the people they got to deliver those lines. It's like, okay, it might, depending on how annoying Barrett gets to me, I might turn on the Japanese voice and just go with the English subtitles. I'm almost, even though they haven't said it, I'm 99% sure that they will that they will allow you to switch that, because a lot of people play that way. Yeah. But I don't even care, because it's so awesome looking.
I care because if I do that, or if I choose not to put him in my party, because they talk as they're battling, just like Final Fantasy 15. While they're battling, they're talking about like the stats, talking about like whatever. I'm assuming they're going to do that within all battles. Barrett was one of my team, so it was me, Barrett, and Eris until that happened. Red 13's the other one that got slotted in at that point, but we all have our favorites. So he was always one of my favorites to have in there. So if he gets too annoying, I'm gonna be kind of sad. But I don't know. We'll see. I hope that it's toned, or I should say, if it doesn't tone down, I may slot him out. I don't know if I'll go Japanese subtitles on it, but either way, I'm excited about it. Yeah. That's what I mean.
A bunch of stuff that they broke down in here. You've already seen some of the videos. So just a couple of details. It's going to be 2 Blu-ray discs worth of content, which is that there's going to be so much of that is FMV. Mm-hmm. But whenever I started thinking about this, they fit Red Dead onto one disc, and that was a 100 gigabyte game. So how big of a game is Final Fantasy VII in Midgar gonna be?
Was Red Dead playable without a download?
No.
Well, I mean, it was 100 gig install, but I think a dual layer Blu-ray is 50 gig. So we're talking about 100 gig. If it's dual layer Blu-ray, 100 gig plus whatever's downloaded. So get a spare hard drive and plug it into your PS4.
I'll be alright. I'll make space. I don't care. I'll delete everything off my system to play this game. Don't care at all. So as we already knew, that it went ARPG, which is my biggest concern. My biggest concern, even though I like action RPGs a lot more than I used to, just because sometimes the turn-based grind is real. So I was super scared of them messing this up. It looks dope. The ATB still exists, and it becomes like this tactical mode. So you're getting hit or you're landing attacks, and it charges up an ATB bar, which is what is used for magic, and it's also what is used for like some of your special moves. They still have limit breaks. That's confirmed. They didn't confirm, obviously, which ones are limit breaks, but like, for example, Braver I don't think is a limit break, but Cross / might be. I don't know how all that works, but they showed off switching between characters. I confirmed watching a stream on that. That's just through the D-pad, so you can switch at any time.
Very cool.
In your party, you just press the corresponding D-pad button, or you go up and down. So you saw the fight where Cloud and Barret are fighting the Scorpion Sentinel.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So good. Like, that's the first boss fight in the game. You cheese the crap out of that when you play it. You just hit him like 10 times and he dies in the original Final Fantasy VII. That's not what you do here.
Nope. I think they were trying to show the scope of something like that attacking you, because something like that attacking you is going to be insane. Especially, this is something that Shinra created to defend their reactors and everything. So yeah, it should be beefy. It shouldn't be something that's easily taken down. So I appreciated that. I appreciated the scope and danger of it. I was happy about that.
And they also added like where now range and closeness matters a lot more. So you saw like Scorpion Sentinel jumps on the wall. You switch over to Barret, who starts shooting. Then when Scorpion jumps on the ground, you switch back to Cloud. So you do like the up close damage. So it seems like there's going to be more emphasis on that. The only problem is that in Midgar, there's only one ranged character. So I wonder if how many fights are going to have range as a thing, because that means Barret's going to be like required. Otherwise, you're just sitting there waiting for Scorpion to come, or whoever else to jump back on the ground. It's not anything I'm worried about, because that's the thing that I overall want to say about this, is that everybody, like, to me at the beginning, this was the remake that people kind of wanted. Like, the only thing that they really wanted was just a graphical upgrade. They wanted to get rid of the polygons.
Sure.
And they went super ambitious with this. Nomura didn't even know that he was the director on it, so it was super scary. I'm no longer scared. Like, the fact that it's going to be multiple parts and we have no idea how many parts and all that stuff, whatever. I don't care. I have nothing negative to say about anything that I saw involving this game other than the voice choices.
Yeah. No, I agree. Everything else looks good. I think I've mentioned on here before, Whitney does not like timed RPGs.
Sure.
So
Nobody's
I think that this could get her into playing this and experiencing one of the greatest stories in video games. So I'm really hoping that she'll, she will get into it, because this is one that I'd be fine if she wants to play through it, and I will sit and watch. That's fine. I am fine handing over the controller. Similarly, where you kind of do that in reverse with Life is Strange.
Yeah.
And this, I'm happy we're getting more Life is Strange, but man, this has taken a while.
I hated them even showing this, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
First of all, there's a decent amount of spoilers in this trailer. People that you haven't met if you've only played episode 1 or whatever. They're through episode 3 now. Episode 1 came out last year. Yeah. I think the first episode was either October or November. We're through episode 3. We don't get through the whole game until I believe the last one they said was September of this year. I don't like it. Bad idea. Like, this is where, if this is the kind of way that you're telling a story, like the last Life is Strange, I think came out in 2-month intervals, which was fine. this is not fine. Over a year in development is not fine at all. And then them showing this video with spoilers for people who haven't played it at all, because there are people who want to. They just wait. They wait until all 5 episodes are out.
Yeah.
They didn't mention anything about new dates or anything like that. I don't get why they showed this game.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it's weird in regards to the pacing. You mentioned that it should be less than a year for these type. We're talking about 5 different episodes.
Yeah.
Having those every other month, that allows you. That's 10 months for those who are bad at math. That's how many it amounts to. I think that would be fine. I agree. They're taking way too long with this, and kind of annoying. Was excited about. Sorry, I'm grabbing my place again because there's just so many videos here to go through. But when we're talking about, where is it? That's Ubisoft.
I don't know.
We're talking about Final Fantasy. Sorry, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. I thought was kind of cool to see that. I'll kind of go through these a little quick because I don't think we have as much to talk about. But Octopath Traveler, getting some more of that. Happy about it for the...
That was released on PC. That was what that announcement was for.
I thought they had DLC coming out as well.
No. So it was previously on console and is now download now on PC. So that's why they brought it up.
Got it. Got Dragon Quest Builders 2, which was already in Japan.
Looks adorable.
I really liked the first Dragon Quest Builders. I played it on Vita, and I thought it was adorable, but it was what I wanted Minecraft to be, which is, I can build all these things and I can grow these. There's so many things you can do in Minecraft, but what is it really all about? It's just about building stuff and mining stuff, and this gave me actual reason to do the things that I was doing. With the quests, with enemies, everything was good and challenging, so I was happy about that. More Dragon Quest. We got Dragon Quest 11.
On the Switch.
Of course.
One thing that I forget what I wanted to mention. Oh, we had one Shadow Drop. Which was good. Mm-hmm. A game that I had not played, though, so I don't know if you knew anything about the series at all, but The Last Remnant was shadow dropped yesterday.
Yeah, I have not played it. I thought it was really cool. One of the guys I watch on YouTube is just a huge fan. Okay. So he was crazy happy about that dropping. That remastered version was... that's cool.
On the Switch.
Yeah. Got some Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC announced. I don't care. I liked what I played of Kingdom Hearts 3. Whitney likes all the Disney stuff, but the story, it's not even getting more, it's way too heavy in the dumb parts of the story, in my opinion.
You can't jump into anybody who said you could just play KH3 on its own. Have to literally, you would have to skip every cutscene because they're so long, but you're not going to know what's going on. So if you try and just jump into Kingdom Hearts 3 without having played anything else in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, good luck having fun.
We played 1 and 2.
Okay.
We watched the prep of all the stuff, and I understood the story for the most part. I'm not a scholar of Kingdom Hearts.
Sure.
But it just drug on, and the dialogue was just, and I don't know if they were trying to walk the balance of let's explain things to people who didn't play the other games. But even then, it was they were just repeating themselves over and over and over again. It was this weird balance of it should be a good story, but I'm being talked down to by Goofy like I'm a 4-year-old, and it just kind of felt really weird. And I had to be he had to remind people, Sora of who people are, and I'm we already met this person in this game. You don't have to remind me. If they just show up for the first time, okay. But it was just annoying to me.
It was a game that I really wish that I liked. I played it for 10 hours, and then it never evolved. Mm-hmm. So if you played Kingdom Hearts 2 in terms of gameplay, they added stuff like they added things to Kingdom Hearts 3, but it's not fun to play. Like if you enjoyed it, I'm not hating on you for enjoying it. There are several dedicated Kingdom Hearts fans. Go for it. But in terms of, I wanted a game that felt like it had been made recently, and it felt like what we expected Kingdom Hearts 3. If it had come out on like PS3, 6 or 7 years ago, I probably would be like, oh, cool. But it just didn't feel like the gameplay evolved with it enough.
I would agree.
But that was Remind. I don't know if they actually if they put a date on it. I didn't write it down. I now don't think they did, because I think I would have purposely tried to do that. Random cool thing that they announced that was actually just discovered randomly by people. I had seen it on the internet a couple days before, but they put all of the Final Fantasy soundtracks are available through streaming services now.
Yeah, that's crazy cool.
And that was just something random people found. Like, somebody actually even announced it at work. They were like, I don't know if anybody noticed, but Final Fantasy music's on Apple Music. And it's like, no, I didn't know that. So it was on like Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music. It was like 9 in total. That was a cool moment. Ononaki was a little bit of a surprise. I didn't even recognize it at first. Here. I forgot that they had announced it. Looks cool. Looks dope. I'm in.
Looks cool. I like the richness of them, like showing these tapestries, like the ancient like drawings and everything. Like, it hooked me in regards to the story. It's not something I've dived into before, but yeah, this looks really fun on my Switch. So happy about that. Happy about that. I'd say a lot of the other announcements that we got, I mean, we did get Dying Light 2, but a lot of the others we got were very, JRPG, stuff that if I flashed a montage on here, I don't think that a lot of people, if you weren't big fans of some of these series, you may not know if it was Final Fantasy or if it was something else. So
did you see that Romancing Saga announcement? That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Like this what I'm showing here is Final Fantasy Brave.
Is this Brevius?
Evius, yeah. So immediately, like, I looked at that and I didn't think it was a Final Fantasy. I thought it was something else. Romancing Saga. I have not played any of this, so.
Me either, but it looks sweet.
It looks good. It looks good. So like we said, like, it's very heavy on the JRPG stuff. So if you don't like that, it may have felt.
Okay, we're coming for you. We got something at the end.
It's okay, because, well, I'll say, I don't know which one of these to talk about first, but I'm going to talk about the smallest surprise first. We'll go reverse order.
Are you talking about my favorite surprise?
I don't think it was really a straight up surprise.
Okay.
The Marvel Avengers.
All right.
So we already knew this was coming. So if those of you who didn't know, they actually announced a Square Marvel game, I want to say last E3, and then they rebranded it. Yeah, and they rebranded it saying this is now Marvel's Avengers. And I liked everything that I was seeing here, except for two things. One, I don't think they showed like any gameplay, or if they did, it's blended in so well that I couldn't tell it was gameplay. There's a few moments from the camera angle, like this right here with Hulk, like I could see that being gameplay.
It is.
So I was like, okay, so that's cool. I think the facial animation for a game like this, the facial animation is like too
rough.
Like, yeah, it's really rough and stone. The meme that's going around is they show a picture of all the Avengers, and it shows the guy Colonel Sanders from Spaceballs saying, "You idiots, you capture their stunt doubles," because they just don't look quite right. I saw some people trying to defend this, saying they don't have the rights to these actors. That's fine.
It's not that.
It's not that. That hair looks horrible. That looks like a crappy wig. And that being said, if the majority of my time is spent, in third-person view, not that I'd see it, but I'm going to want to see these cinematics. I'm going to want to see these characters. And you don't have to have a Robert Downey Jr. likeness in there, because he'd probably charge you a good amount. You don't have to have everyone look like whoever. You can... look at Final Fantasy VII. It's great. the characters embody what was supposed to be represented with their polygon versions and some of the artwork that's been seen elsewhere, and then, Advent Children, whatever. But I think they could have done a lot better with that, and I hope that they will do better moving forward. Like, I hope that they'll clean that up and not, have any downgrade. I don't think there was enough gameplay really shown here, though, in my opinion.
So before I get to the gameplay, I'm gonna say I disagree with most of the haters in terms of the art style. The thing that bothered me about it is that so for those people who don't know, when it comes to E3 and everything, like you're literally telling these developers, stop what you're doing and make something that we can show at an event like an E3. So this means that everything they showed, like, yeah, some of it may be a part of the game. It wasn't polished. That was the problem. I don't have a problem. Anybody who expects it to look like anything regarding your Marvel likenesses, your MCU likenesses rather, it's not going to happen. And I point to another franchise that recently came out in Spider-Man on PS4. If you look at Peter Parker and you look at his first suit, not that they put like every other suit in there afterwards, but his first suit is that, I don't know if you remember all the hate that came out when they first showed the White Spider.
Yeah.
Bad. Like, everybody was just trashing it. At the time, we didn't, we had like a brief thing of Tom Holland. Nobody really cared about what Peter Parker looked at, but they were trashing that Spider-Man outfit, and it looks dope. Now, I love it. The problem with these art styles is it just didn't look polished. To me, that's the only problem. The fact that there's no likeness involved, I don't care. If you read comic books at all, you'll know that like those likenesses change with the artist, and that carries along over here too. So the thing is that if your most recent thing with Avengers is we just got done with the Endgame, and now this is the very next Avengers thing that we saw, other than the Far From Home trailer. Yeah. It's probably going to be a little jarring. I think that's going to wear off. I think people are going to get over it by the time this game comes out. Just hopefully it doesn't look as grainy.
Yeah, I agree, but I want the hair to look right. I want their facial expressions to look right.
Yeah, polish.
John in the comments talking about the animation sequences you typically modeled and animated by a different studio. 100% true. And when it comes to E3, which we'll talk about this in later the future conferences as we talk about them, but when you have a lack of gameplay, you can really you can make it look like your game is really polished and looks great by faking it with the CGI trailers, with the animation. So to me, when I see something that is done specifically in CGI to make it look better, to hype the game, it kind of sucks if that's a downgrade from what I would expect. So I really hope it is polished.
I think so, and to confirm with you, what you were seeing was in game. So where you see Hulk jump across the bridge, I have done more research on that from people who have played the game. So the only demo that the people who are getting behind closed doors, the stuff that they're not allowed to show off yet, the demo that they're getting, they didn't get to play it. They watched a Square rep play through it. It is that bridge scene that you see at the beginning as kind of like a training thing. You switch off between characters, so you start as Thor, and then I think you go to Iron Man, and then you go to Hulk, and then you get to play all the characters that you saw. There you get to play as them in that opening sequence. That's cool. As it kind of trains you. So to me, I think it was that it's just not done yet. I think they wanted to show something, but me and you discussed this while it was live. Like they're advertising this game as a in-game cinematic online co-op like at any time you can jump from online to offline, apparently. So like it's kind of the way that they described it is that like somebody could jump in with you. They didn't go too deep into describing it from the research that I did after the show, but they made sure to mention like all the DLC is free. They mentioned no random loot boxes or pay-to-win scenarios. To me, that means you can still pay for skins. They didn't confirm that, though.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that, too. They just, when you're advertising a game that's going to be online and stuff, and this is like, I don't know why you didn't show that. And I do realize the date is May 15th of next year. So we have almost a full year. So there's going to be some time in probably December or January, somewhere in there, where we'll probably get more. It's just, when watching this, I wanted more. I didn't care about the looking thing. I wanted more. I wanted to see the Avengers. I wanted to see fighting. Like, when you're talking about a game like this, everything that stuck out to me, I was like, is this going to be like X-Men Legends? Like, that's what I literally wrote down. And I hope it's not. I hope it is that cinematic thing. They got the voice cast for it. Star-studded voice cast for the mainline Avengers that they put in there. Shout outs to Hawkeye. No respects there. You don't get any.
Yeah, so I think that was a big one. That was a good one. But the big surprise was Final Fantasy VIII.
I jumped out. My wife laughed at me because I cheered so hard. This was in my dreams of last week's episode. I was like, figure it out. I don't care. I know the code is lost. Figure it out. Throw some money at it. What do? They threw some money at it.
Yep. They know that this is going to make money. And I've had people say, when the Final Fantasy VII remake was announced, I had so many people who said they should have done 8. Some people said they should have done 7, but a lot of people said they should have done 8. 8 was a better story. I'll disagree that it was a better story, but with what they had in regards to losing so much of that source code and so much of their work, it's almost starting from the ground up in regards to trying to redo this. So it looks great. Like you said, it was on your dream list. And we're gonna get it. I'm
gonna buy it twice.
I'm so happy about this. Yeah, I'm so happy about it.
Just for those that were probably a little critical, they were like, it didn't really look that remastered. They didn't really show. They showed a couple of snippets where they showed it. You're really gonna see it in like the battle scenes and stuff. The sprite animation. There's like there's some famous looks of Squall, where Squall is known for having that hair. There, and you look at it, it's this super pixely messed. In this remastered version, you can clearly see his face and his hair. Like, it's going to be in like some of that sprite reworking. Again, I've told this story ad nauseum. I think at this point they lost the original source code for Final Fantasy VIII. The only thing that was left was the PC version, and porting is not it's not the easiest thing in the world. People think like, hey, just do it. It doesn't work that way. So the fact that they're not just porting the PC port over, which is great. They're actually putting some time into to cleaning it up, making it look a little bit more modern. But they gave it to me. And they said it's coming out this year. That's the other thing was too. Insane. It wasn't anything where it's going to take forever.
Yeah.
They said coming 2019, all consoles. I think PC too.
Yep.
So happy. It's the most dogged on underrated Final Fantasy. It's my second favorite Final Fantasy to 7. I will play the crap out of it. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. It was really funny. There was a post that Squall was coming to the Final Fantasy fighting game, and I made a Facebook comment on them saying like, hey, you know what I want to see Squall in? A little game called Final Fantasy VIII. That was last week. That post did not age well, and I will definitely cop to it. I'll be buying it on PS4. I'll be buying it on Switch. I might even buy it on computer. Probably not, but it depends on if I have the extra dock. I'll be streaming that game, no doubt. Just yes, Square. Like, thank you so much. I love you. I hate you at the same time all the time, but no matter what, you always end up making me love you again.
Yeah, totally great. A great way to end or almost end the conference because they ended on Marvel. But so what did you give Square in your rating?
So this one was definitely more biased. I think that Nintendo had the cleaner, even though this one ended up being my favorite conference. I gave it an A also. I think Nintendo was cleaner. I think it was more concise. There was a couple of moments in here where I'm just like, well, whatever. But I gave it an A.
Yeah. So I give it a B- or B, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Because there were some great things, but I feel like a lot of it didn't have enough variety in regards to what they were showing me. When they did show me something that had some a different tone to it, it was very brief. And that's why I feel like I think they should have shown given me a little bit more in regards to variety. The bias in regards to Final Fantasy VIII in there, that's great. And Final Fantasy VII, actually no, I'll say B+ as well, because Final Fantasy VII looked amazing. It looked better. So good. It got me more hyped about I was already hyped about it. I bought, and I actually I messaged you this morning because we were talking about the first class edition, which it has the statue and the art book, the steel book, the soundtrack, and apparently they have more of them, so I went ahead and pre-ordered one. It's pricey, but had to do it.
Yeah, other than Dying Light 2, the only other real RPG one that they mentioned was a game that we only got a CG trailer for, and so I don't really have much to say about it because I have no idea. But a game called Outriders, it said it was made by the people who made Gears of War Judgment, and Bulletstorm. Bulletstorm was okay. Gears of War Judgment sucks. So that wasn't really much of a what's the word? Endorsement. That wasn't really much of an endorsement, but the CG trailer looked cool.
No, it did look cool. I think I was messaging you around that time. I think is when we were messaging, and I was just saying I wasn't digging what they were showing, and then boom, that showed up. I thought, okay, this is interesting. You got my attention. I love Bulletstorm, so.
And if you like Final Fantasy XIV, the trailer for that, I said to my wife, I wish that I had time to jump back into this game. Yeah, it's an MMORPG, very near and dear to my heart. The trailer for the expansion that comes out on July 2nd looks awesome. My favorite thing that I was writing about that there was that somebody had a gunblade in the trailer, and I wrote in my notes, I'm like, oh, I spy a gunblade. I'm like, I know that doesn't mean we're getting Final Fantasy VIII, but a guy could dream.
And we got it.
Dream he did.
And we got it. Yep.
But you have anything else to say about Square Enix?
No, I thought, like I said, overall, I think it was a good conference. I think it was entertaining. I think we got a lot of good stuff. And I would say these were the two best conferences of E3, was Nintendo and Square Enix.